So in the most recent winter update for Anime Vanguards, we of course got the Memoria system. And a lot of people are talking about the new Vanguard Rukia Memoria, but there's one Memoria nobody's really talking about that can still make old units really overpowered. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, maybe if you like or subscribe. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so the main unit we're focusing on today is Kenpachi. And mine looks a little bit weird, as he's shiny, and I have Ethereal on him. I'm a little bit too broke to roll for Monarch right now, I'm sorry. But pretty much this guy has aged really well. He's gotten really strong with the new Memorias and Familiars we've been getting over time. And I'll explain the strat I've been using to make this guy do over 1 million DPS with Monarch. If we check out Kenpachi's passives here, both of them are very important. The first one, every third attack he will stun himself for as long as 100% of his SPA. That is going to pair very well with the Mirko Memoria, because, you know, this passive right here is kind of balanced around him stunning himself to kind of limit his DPS potential. But the new Mirko Memoria can cut his stun time in half, and now he doesn't lose nearly as much DPS from that. And we have another very important thing about him that'll ramp him up even more. Kenpachi's second passive, Feral Rage, lets out a roar anytime this unit gets stunned for 80% of his damage in a full AoE. It also has a 30% slow, we don't really care about that part though. And this passive right here is going to be really strong with a Familiar. You could probably guess by now, but we're talking about the Nose Familiar. This guy's going to let Kenpachi stun himself on every attack, and he's also going to get a damage buff whenever he gets stunned. So pretty much, we can have Kenpachi every attack stun himself, gain a damage buff, perform a follow-up attack for 80% of his damage, and then every third attack he's meant to like stun himself for a long time to kind of cut down his DPS numbers. But with the Mirko Memoria, we can actually make him not stunned for nearly as long, and keep ramping up the nose even faster. I do have a team fully set up already for this strat. We're going to buff up Kenpachi as much as we can. I don't have Erza, the new winter unit, so we could have even stronger buffing. But pretty much we have Ein's buff and Caloric Stone for Broly, because Kenpachi is unbound and we can use Broly Domain to buff him. But that is the strat. Hopefully I've explained it not the worst ever, and you can kind of understand where we're going. But if I did a terrible job of explaining it, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what we're going to do in a playground mode, so you can visualize exactly how it's done, and how much Kenpachi is doing. Here we go, so let me show you what's going on with Kenpachi. By the way, sorry if you hear my voice throughout this video. A little bit raspy, I've been feeling kind of sick on and off for like the past month. I don't know what's going around, but I've been catching it like every time. But first up, I have to go to the modifiers here and choose the King's Burden card, because I don't have Monarch on Kenpachi, okay? If I did, I wouldn't have to choose this modifier at all. I'm just kind of broke on rerolls right now, so, you know, we're putting Monarch on Kenpachi, alright. Then we want to also ramp up our Ein's buff, so let me get Ein's down. We're gonna have Ein's on his Passion, so Aura of Despair, Aura of the Overlord. Already set, perfect. And to make Ein's apply that, I'm gonna spawn in some running stuff here to run past him. He should attack it and kind of buff our Kenpachi. And once we have Ein's ramped up now, I'm gonna go to the Caloric Stone. I'm gonna place down my Broly in the corner of the map somewhere. Also gonna wipe out those running people before we die. For Broly, I'm gonna use the Wrathful Clash Domain. Right here. And I'm going to skip a few waves to wave 15 because we're going to ramp up the Broly Domain fully. Okay, so we ramped up Broly Domain, now we have 2.15 crit damage and 105 crit on Kenpachi. Now the final buff we have to get going, I know I'm buffing him up a lot, but like, all these buffs are doable within a progressive stage, okay? I'm going to do it in some type of content later that isn't a playground thing or a sandbox thing. But we'll get Brook buff going here, and if we max out Kenpachi, we see his DPS number is only 260k. Doesn't look that crazy, right? If I spawn in like a Vegeta with 1000 health multiplier, got a 51 million HP Vegeta coming down, and I kind of placed Kenpachi too far back. I'm gonna have to replace Kenpachi in a better spot real quick and kind of reapply buffs to him, but this time I'm spawning in Vegeta for real. We're gonna go with a 1000 multiplier and 0 speed. And we're gonna watch Kenpachi's EDPS, okay, effective DPS, how much he's actually doing, because the DPS number over here isn't as accurate as what he's actually dealing right here. Now it'll take him a few attacks to fully ramp up, because we need the stuns to proc on him for the Nose Familiar, but as you can see, we have a unit from Update 4 already reaching like 1 million. I've gotten mine to 1.3 million DPS before, but I don't know what buff I'm missing. Okay, 1.1, yeah, he's ramping up more now. His DPS kind of drops down while he's stunned or whatever. Like, it looks like his DPS isn't that high until he actually attacks, but he's doing around 1 million DPS. You can see him chunk down this Vegeta boss over here. Unfortunately, because I don't have a Monarch, I don't know what stage we can even run him in to show him off in Monarch. I might have to show him off Ethereal, but you've seen the Monarch DPS number. I've seen it go up to like 1.3 mil. I don't remember exactly what I did before. The buffs are kind of running out now, but hopefully you see what we're messing around with today, and Kenpachi is pretty strong again. So I want to show you guys we can use this strat in real game modes, not just the sandbox mode. So the first one we're going to hop into is the Rift here, the Shanks Rift. Probably like one of the hardest game modes in the entire game right now. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Oh, Kempache strat, here we go. So speed card going down. I have Ethereal Kenpachi, so he might be kind of stinky, but we're going to have to find out the hard way. Let me turn back on enemy health bars. I might have been trying to AFK farm something. I swear these used to be way harder. Wait, 19? That can't be right. I think I bugged it out. I'm also farming wrong with speed card. I don't know, look, it's been a long time since I've locked in on this game a little bit. Doesn't matter, look, Kempachi's goated enough to carry me, even if I mess up the farming. I do need to make sure we start Broly domain by like wave 5, so let me get my Eins down over here. Get one Kempachi right here. Not looking too bad for Ethereal Kenpachi. If we upgrade him here, should be doing a lot more. I do want to place down Broly now, so let me do that. Caloric Stone, Rosy Super, and I'll kind of have him help out Kempachi here and use his domain. We are kind of leaking. I'm going to have to move one of my Kenpachis to the back, and I probably want to turn off Unit VFX because I'm seeing a lot going on. Brook is going down to buff eventually. Can't play the minigame right now because we kind of got to lock in. But, I mean, look at the DPS. It's not too horrible, right, for Kenpachis with Ethereal. I think it's very overshadowed by a lot of like new meta Memoria combos. People kind of forget about the Mirko one, and I mean, it makes Kenpachi work, and Kenpachi is a very old unit who really, frankly, shouldn't be able to work in this stage, you know? This is a pretty significant buff to him. I'm going to max out this Kenpachi right here, we're going to move one of them to the back, and I hope he can handle these leaking ones, because they kind of have a lot of health for one Kenpachi Ethereal to deal with. I do also need to max out my third speed card. I probably should have done that a long time ago. And now I just kind of griefed my farm again. Look, least optimal run ever. Okay, Kempachi can do a lot better, but he's doing not that bad, right? He's doing okay damage. We might have to get a little Shanks down to help out, maybe. You know? Okay, no, he got it. That was a big chunk of damage. Okay. But he's out of his range now, so yeah, we're doing a little bit of cheating. Okay, no completely solo Kempachi. Okay, look. Guys, close your eyes. Okay, if I didn't play wrong, we'd be fine right now, I think. Okay, so Kempachi should be able to handle the other ones, though. I mean, 2 Kenpachis in the front are kind of handling a lot more than I thought they would. 2 Ethereal Kenpachis took down the Luffy. They took down the Luffy, man. If you had Monarch and Kenpachi, I think you'd have no problem. Because you could place one down, max him out, you know, he'd deal with everything way easier. You don't have to move around and, like, deal with leaking enemies or whatever. We have an Ethereal Kenpachi right here doing 200k DPS. Okay, not bad. This one also doing 167k. This one doing fetching 120k. If we add them all up, my Ethereal Kenpachis are doing like 500k. But I think if you have Monarch on him, as we saw in the sandbox, he could reach like 1 million DPS, you know? And that would be really helpful in here. That'd probably clear the entire thing, I think. There we go. With a little bit of help from Shanks, we win the raid. Kenpachi was holding his own, though. It wasn't that bad, okay? It wasn't that bad for Ethereal. Okay, look, man. I'm trying to rack my brain and think of like any game mode where I can get Monarch for free. The only one I can think of is the Don Rift, and we're not doing 2 rifts for the showcase or whatever, you know, I can't show this guy off. Like, I don't have Monarch on Kenpachi, so I can't show off Monarch Kenpachi. But look, Ethereal doesn't do it justice. Okay, this guy is good again with the Mirko Memoria and Nose Familiar. I do have Divinity on the Mirko Memoria, so that might be part of it. I don't think it's really that big a part of it, though. I don't know, look, okay, might be the most useless video of all time, because I can't show this guy off with Monarch, and I just wanted to get the strat out there, okay? You guys heard it here first, I hope. And Mirko Memoria, most overhated Memoria of all time, and I'm not coping because it's the one I went for this update. Look, I gotta start playing a lot more AV, okay? It's the only tower defense alive at this point. So I'll start grinding more rerolls in the future. For now, this has been kind of a useless video, okay? I can't show off Monarch Kenpachi, but the strat is out there, so do with that what you will. I think it's a pretty strong strat. It's like 1 million DPS is pretty good for Kenpachi, okay? If you know anything better on older units, please let me know, as those are always fun to mess around with. Anyway, thank you to my channel members for making the video possible. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. And have a great day.